Hi, this is Reddy. Today we'll discuss about cascading dropdown list in ASP.NET. What is cascading dropdown list? This means we'll be having a multiple dropdown list. The dropdown list will be filling based on the previous dropdown list selection. Like the first dropdown list selection, then it will depend on the first dropdown list. Second dropdown will get filled, and the second dropdown selection, the third dropdown will be getting filled. Let us see this. The first dropdown will be having continents, second dropdown will be having countries, and last dropdown will be having cities. Okay, for this I will be having 3 tables and 3 stored procedures. Okay, let us see. I have already created a script for table creation and the sample data insertion. Let me take this and let me go to this. For this we'll be creating a new database. It is loading. Let me give this name as demo. You can see this demo is created. Let me create this sample table and with the sample data. Okay, now table is created, and the second table with the sample data. See, then just create this, paste here, select this. This is also created. The next table is cities table. See this, when you observe this second table, you have created with foreign ID, foreign key references with the table continents. The one which I have created earlier with continent ID is referencing this continent ID in table countries. Like this, we'll be having table cities also. I'm selecting the sample data to execute in SQL. Okay, let me select this. Table cities executed. So we have all the 3 tables created. Now I'm going to create the respective store procedures. This procedure will do, it will fetch all the continents IDs and continent names from the table continents. Let me select this and execute. So one is created. The next thing is other store procedure. It is for fetching the data as depending on the continent ID. Okay, execute it. The third one is fetching the cities based on the selection of country ID. Okay, now we'll switch to Visual Studio. Let me create this new project. Name it as Cascading Dropdown List table. So it will take few seconds to create that all the depending projects for this. See this creating project. It is creating this. Now let us go to the Solution Explorer. I'll be adding one new item. Okay, let me click on add. Then after loading it, we need a 3 drop-down list for this. So let us go to the design mode. Then I'm going to drop this 3 drop-down list into the design page. Okay, go to the toolbox and get the drop-down list. Drag here. Enter. Otherwise you can select copy and paste it, and you can paste this. Okay, let me increase the width of this drop down list. I have selected all 3. Make sure that you have selected all 3. Okay, click F4, then you can go to the bottom of the properties. Here will be this width property. I am making it as 200 pixels. Okay, now this is the first drop down list for continents filling, so I am naming it as DDL continents. The second drop down is for DDL countries, so go to the properties, change the name of the ID of the control, countries, then third one is DDL cities. Select that, go to properties, DDL cities. Okay, now we have designed that. Let us go to this view code. What we want is, in the page load, we wanted to fill this all the continents related in the table. Okay, now where we want in the page load. So for that I am creating one method, populate all continents. Okay, for this I am going to write on a method private void all contents, copy it and paste it here. Okay, now what I want to go to is, I wanted to go to the SQL connection, so I need a namespace system.data and system.sql can, as my database is SQL client. SQL client. Then for connection string purpose we wanted that system.configuration namespace also. Let it be. Then what we want is, before going to this getting the database details, we wanted to connect to the database. Okay, now you need a connection string property, just copy it, then connection strings will be creating in web.config file. Okay, go to the configuration settings. Now you can write that connection strings. Okay, now you can add name, which is your optional, whatever you want you can give. Connection string, now take this connection string, the one which I copied from their properties, you can paste here. Then the initial get log will tell us the database name. Now we have created with demo. That's it here. Now just copy this, go to this web form one. Now this. Okay, here what I want is DDL continents data source. I wanted to fill this data. Instead of getting code repeatable, I am taking one method here, get data. I am calling this get data. Just first being I am giving comment. Now for this get data method I am writing one more private, which is of type dataset. So it will be fetching the data from database and returning the dataset. The data source for the DDL continents is a dataset. Okay, now the method is get data. For this the parameters are, I am taking two, string is sp name, comma, and SQL parameter I am passing for sometimes. This is sp parameter. Okay, now what it should be done is, we should get the data from database. For that we should make that connection strings. String str is equals to configuration manager dot connection strings of the one which we copied here. You just copy again, see here, you can paste here, then dot, I'm sorry, control Z, control Z, control Z, control Z, control Z. Okay, dot connection strings. Okay, now we are going to utilize this from now onwards. SQL connection com is equal to, I am making a variable con and new SQL connection, and I am passing this str connection. Okay, next step is SQL adapter. Data adapter DA is equals to new SQL data adapter of the sp name what and all you are sending from here. Okay, paste it, comma, and for the first time just imagine this, we are fetching all the details from contents table, so I'm not going to pass any parameter. If you see here, and for the parameter it is not asking anything, so we don't require to pass anything. For that case we need to pass null. Okay, then da dot select command of command type. This is important. I think this we are going to tell that SQL server which I am going to use, the store process or direct SQL query. This time I am using store procedure. Okay, now I am keeping a condition. I'll explain this a bit late. SP parameter is not equal to null. Then we'll be adding the parameter name also. For this, da dot select command dot parameters dot add of. See this, what is asking parameter value. So parameter value is whatever it is coming from there. Okay, just copy it and paste it. Okay, now what I want to do is this data set will return data set, so we need to return this. For that I'm taking data set ds equal to new data set, then da dot fill of ds. Finally I'm going to return ds. Okay, now sorry, not null here, need to pass connection string. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to change this. For this is what it is telling, populate all containers. For that we need to have this stored procedure name. Just copy it and go here. See this, you just see this is expecting string sp name. This is of type string type, so we will be passing in double quotes. Just paste this, the sp name, comma, and it is asking the sp parameter. In this case we are not passing any parameter, so we will be telling this null. Okay, now the most important part is just save this, and this also save. Go to design mode. Whenever we are dealing with any kind of drop down list, 2 points need to be remembered. The 2 points are data text field and data value field. The data text field is going to be showing the value, the text what you are seeing, and value field is will be taking for any coding purpose. See, data text field is here, the which I am showing to the user. Just copy it and paste here. So the data value field is content ID. Just copy it and paste here. Okay, now let us execute this. What is going to be coming? It is loading. Now I'm expecting in page load all containers should be showing. Let us move to this browser. It is loading. Okay, let it load. First time it is loading, and we are not getting anything here. Because let us see this, why it is not glitching. Stop me this. I'm debugging this. Let me put a debug point. Page load. Need to press F10. Function F10. See this, these are the things step up. And if you want to go to method name, it will go like this, and then F11, F10, 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 see this, verify this. Okay, 10. See, the main thing is we are getting the data from database, but we need to bind the data to the data DDL contains. Dot data bind is one of the most important. Okay, this is a method, so it is expecting parameters. Let us see this. We'll execute, and I'm expecting this time all the containers in the first drop down list. Let me continue. See this, we have got all the containers, but now when we'll be seeing in all the real-time projects, we'll be seeing that select containers here, and what we want to do is these two dropdowns will not be enable for the user. You should not select this, so it should be disable mode. For that, what we want to do is, and as we know that a drop down list is a collection of list items, so list item, and declaring a variable for containers that is equals to new list item of, see the parameters which is asking string text and string value. The string text is by default, I wanted to see that select continent, and then the value for this is also of type string type, so I am providing in double quotes. Then we need to append this to DDL container dot items dot add of items dot insert, actually insert of series integer index and list item. Integer index is 0, the first one 0 means list item, which is expecting this one of type list item, just now created. Then what we want is, we don't want to enable this countries list, so I'm going to do this enable equal to false. Same thing for cities also. Just copy it, paste it. Here you can change to cities. Then the same thing for countries dropdown and cities dropdown also. I'm making it list item COUN countries. Here I'm making this select country. Copy this and paste here, but here is countries. Then here I am making changes to city. Otherwise we can make it a singular everywhere. Country. Here I'm going to change to city. Okay, here also city. DDL cities dot items dot, copy it and paste it. Now just save this and build this. See what's going to be happen. Continuing it. See this, we are seeing this select continent with all the required, and you cannot select anything, just it will be showing this disable mode. Now we'll be populating depending on the Asia selection. I wanted to see this select country. Okay, now stop this and stop all breakpoints. Okay, now what I want is, when a user select this any kind, I wanted to populate countries. For this we need to go to this properties and events are there, selected index change, double click here, we will be seeing here if DDL contains dot selected index, selected value will take is equals to -1, then nothing should come actually, so we'll see in a little bit later. We'll be writing code for user select anything what to fill. Here the first and foremost thing is we need to make DDL countries to be enabled true, means user need to vary select something countries dot enabled equal to true. Then what we want is we need to pass a parameter, SQL parameter. I'm making a variable that's equal to new SQL parameter, and parameter dot parameter name. The parameter name what is expecting, see here the second stored procedure which is expecting a content ID. Depending on the content ID selection of the user, we will be filling country ID and country name. So we will be passing this to parameter name, and parameter dot value for this is from where we will be getting, from the selection of the drop down list. DDL contains dot selected value. Now we will be filling DDL countries dot data source equals to, I'm reusing that method get data. It is expecting string SP name and parameter. The SP name this time is the one what we created. Just copy it and select this and verify this string which is of type string. So we'll be typing in double quotes, and the parameter what is expecting is this is the one parameter. For this parameter we had parameter value and parameter name. Just copy this and pass it. Then DDL countries dot data bind. Now what we are going to do is DDL cities dot enable equal to false. Okay, now for the selected index changed, we need to change the property to auto post back true for the first drop down list, then only it will work. Go to this again, auto post back, by default it will be false, we are making it to true. Just drop down this, we can select this true, and I'm saving it, I'm building this, I'm just running it again. See what's going to happen. I'm expecting that in selection of the continent ID this country should be filled. Let us see Asia. See this again, it is not coming because just go here and see this and go to view code. This is because in page load we are populating every time, so we need to stop this with post back condition. If is not post back, is post back method, then it will not come every time in this selection. This means when the page load only we will be populating this, and the selection of this containers will be working with this. We'll be making countries drop down will be enabled true. Just run this. Now I'm going to select Asia. See this, and the same problem what we are getting, because this is because we need to change this data text field and data value field for the same how we have done for this first drop down list. See here, continent name and content ID we have got. Same applies for countries also. Go to countries, the data text field, what it is going to fill here, text field is country name. Just copy it and come here, paste here, and then again continent ID for data value field, copy it, paste here. That's it. Just build this. This time we are going to see this countries list also based on the selection of, see this, Japan, Malaysia, everything. If you select Europe, it's changing dynamically. And then if you observe this again, this is select continent is coming, but here I am not seeing this, so let me change the code accordingly. In view code, what is going to be happening, I wanted to add that select country also. Go here, and I'm making here. Okay, that's fine. Now let us see for next drop down list. Same thing, we need to go to events, then double click here. Now it will happen again, and this is similar way. Let me copy this. I'm sorry, mouse is not working. But here we need to change something. COU entries. Countries are selected value equal to constant. I will write code for this if nothing is selected here. The first and foremost thing, if we select anything, we need to change this enable to true. Then next time this will be passing with, see the stored person name, the third one, this is the one. For the parameter is country ID. The cities drop down list will be depending on the country ID selection. So I'm passing here it is with country ID. Paste it, and this country's ID will be filling here. Selected value, whatever user is selected, we are going to pass this, and the parameter and the SP name also we need to change. SP get cities by country ID. I'm replacing this, and here the list city, the one we created in the page load. Just copy this and it replaces this here. This is not required here, this line. Okay, and it will apply same for this also. Go to this properties, make auto prospect to true, by default it is false. We select this, make true. Then to see the values under this, we need to make this again data text field and data value field. What are those we are getting? Data text field is this, copy it and paste here. Data value field, this is city ID, and fill this. See this, something we are missing, this one we are missing. Okay, now I'm running it. See this, but on page load we will disable this. When we select something only it will get populate. And see this, we are not getting this. Let us see why it happened. Something is wrong. View does not contain a property with the name country name. See this problem, what it is called. Where we are getting this DDL countries. DDL countries, a parameter, so value, country ID, and value is nothing coming. That's because, see here, see this properties, auto prospect true, and this is DDL countries and exchange event. And see this, instead of filling this DDL cities, we haven't selected this. That's the problem. DDL cities, and copy this and paste this. Okay, now I'm expecting that things are done. See this, Asia and Japan. See this, Japan related cities. And India, if you select Bangalore, Chennai, and Mumbai coming. Okay, and we will be talking about if user not selected anything, like if you select again select country, this should be disabled with select city. Let us see how to do that. Now suppose DDL countries dot selected index equal to 0, then DDL once again DDL countries dot enabled equal to false. Like same thing, we need to make it for cities also. Here I'm taking cities, just copy this, paste over here. Same thing we need to do for country selection changes. Okay, cool, that's it. Let us see this what's happening. On page load, only the first drop down should be enabled, the two drop downs will be disabled. When I select Asia, the Asia countries only should populate, India and then Bangalore, Chennai. If I go and select this select country, see this is changing, and the same thing should apply for this also. Okay, this is called full demo on cascading drop down list. Thank you for listening. Thank you.